let's say that she gets them for, she gets, let's say, phone calls in. She gets zero, your partner, is that what you said you were?
Advisor.
Advisor. She gets them in that way. What way do you get them in?
Fill out my contact form on my website.
Okay, so the website, right? And so, again, I'm just drawing out, replicating what's over there on the dry erase board. And there's just different things over here that help you kind of, by default, just kind of draw out where your leads are coming from. Now, Infusionsoft is set up to where every single thing you do in there, every single action, every single email, every single click leads to a goal. You have process, goal, process, goal. That's what you're doing in Infusionsoft. Your processes are, I want to send this person an email because I want them to do something. I want to get this person from Facebook over to my website so they can fill out a form and ask for some more information, right? That's how we do. That's how in our business we are developing processes, because every single process we want to lead to some kind of goal. And again, that translates very well to Infusionsoft. So over here on the chart, we drew a thing that said record and sort. So she's out there on the web, she's at meetings like this, her job is generating all these leads all the time, but her goal is to get them someplace where she can gather their information. That's her goal. So in this list of things I can play with over here in Infusionsoft, there's all these goals that she can drag over. Okay? Everyone with me so far? Okay? This is fun, geeky stuff to me. I love drawing pictures and then just basically stamping this on top of my business or on top of other people's businesses. This is just fun stuff. Her goal is to get them, let's say that her goal is to get them to a form to fill out some information so she can start filtering them out. Okay? Whether they come in via here, she's going to gather business cards, or she gets a referral as being a zero advisor, or they just go to her website. She wants them to fill out a form so she can start filtering them. So, somebody has expressed interest in her services. Take that back. Make sure I get the right one at the right time. Information, that's what we wanted. And this is how in Infusionsoft you basically drive someone to a form where you gather some information about them so you can start filtering them. And because it's a flowcharting tool, let's make this all centered for you OCD people. Anybody here, those OCD people? Line, everything better be. I saw Lindy back there. She raised her hand. Ron over there. I do a little bit, not too much. But this is a flowchart, so we can now start drawing how her process is going to work. That's cool stuff. First time I saw that, and it was in an Infusionsoft conference, and I had my laptop open while they're demoing it. I was doing it like they were doing it. It was really, really cool stuff. So the goal is to get them to fill out this form right here. So what I can start doing is actually open this up right here. By default, this is a form which she can design to have basically the fields that she wants to gather about different people's information. I'm just waiting for the internet to do its thing now. The last thing we need right now is the internet to go down. You didn't say that, Patrick. That's not even funny. Just make my form back there. There we go. So now I'm Aaron. I'm in here designing my sales process, and this is the beginning of a form. Infusionsoft, because it's primarily an email marketing program, it always starts with email address and first name. But it's my business. I can customize it to gather whatever I want. What are some other pieces of information you might want to gather from somebody besides their first name and their email address?
How many years they've been in business?
Besides what else besides their first name and business? I'm leading you someplace here. You got to follow with me.
Business name.
Wait, I heard it back there someplace.
Business name.
Phone number. There was another one too.
Email.
We got email. But all I have is their first name up here. Last name. I'm trying to guide you here. I didn't plan her like I was supposed to.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you see a bigger response when you don't ask for the last name? When people are sensitive about that kind of stuff?
It depends on how badly they want my services. I mean, it depends on whether or not you want to get
And that's a good filter, if they don't wanna give me their last name, then.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're asking to do business with me. You're not gonna give me your information?
And I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah, there's different schools of thought on this. If you notice, if anyone went to the website, the /OKC, and I asked for your information, I asked for the minimum amount of information, which was first name and email address. That's because that's just me giving you a freebie. I asked for the bare minimum right there. I probably could even get that email address. But if I'm going to her and I'm asking for services, she's gonna want as much information from me up front as possible to even make a phone call or set up a meeting. I mean, if she's gonna be my accountant, it would be good if she knew my last name. So last name, I think I heard phone number in there someplace. Let's drop in a phone number in there. We won't make that required right now. First name, somebody said company name, I think I heard right. Okay, let's get company name in here. So that's the basics of just gathering their information. But what would help her is also to upfront get a good idea of what they want before she ever gets them on the phone. And so you can customize that too when she's gathering information. And by the way, the cool thing about this is somebody can come to her website and fill out this form, or she can do it herself based on coming home with like a stack of business cards. Infusionsoft, one of the cool things about Infusionsoft is you design forms for the public, but you also design forms for your own business processes. So if somebody calls you up on the phone, you're in Infusionsoft entering this, just like somebody's going to your website and filling it out. So, it's time for her to filter out the type of people that are coming to her. And we had 3 different types there, didn't we? We had wealth, tax, and retirement. So what I did in Infusionsoft is I dragged over a set of radio buttons where I can start making some decisions for the marketing later. And we'll say something really simple like desired service. And we'll say tax advice. What did I say? Retirement optimization. And we'll do one more. We'll do, what was the other one? Thank you, wealth management. Okay. So now when people are coming to her looking for services, up front she has some information about them, okay? And she knows what kind of person she's dealing with. She's got their name, she's got their phone number, she's got their company name, she knows what they want. So the first conversation is not, why did you call me? It's, oh, I saw you want some information on our wealth management services. And she already knows that maybe that has to go to the wealth management part of the company versus the tax part of the company versus the retirement part of the company. Now, Infusionsoft still gets pretty cool here, okay? Because there's this thing you can do in Infusionsoft called tagging. A lot of tools have like categories where you can create categories, and categories are just ways to bucket people. Infusionsoft uses something called tags, okay? And you can apply a tag to somebody, and you can take a tag off of somebody. And a tag is just a way to indicate the person's interest, or where they are in their marketing plan, or whether or not they clicked on something, or what their different interest levels are. So I'm Aaron, I've decided, well, you know what, I know what they want here, but up front I want to tag them. What I can do now is I can actually go back into this right here, and I can start tagging people whether or not they want taxes or retirement or wealth. Cool little tool right here where you can apply a tag to somebody. I already put some tags here. So I made a test tag called AA test tag for tax advice. I have one earlier for retirement. Oops. Retirement. I don't expect you guys to remember all this, but we're just categorizing people right now as they're coming in. And then we said, what was the other one? Wealth management. There we go. Well, let's go back and check this one. Taxes, okay. So now, someone's come to her website, or she's filled this form manually, and she's tagged people. Now she's starting to gather leads, and she's starting to filter them, so she knows what to do with them, okay? She can get us some more information here, like net worth and things like that, and store all that information inside Infusionsoft. We're going to go minimalistic for tonight. And now what you can even see, to tell you the truth, is this form is actually available now to where you can put this on a website, or you can just store this on an internal server someplace to where you can start filling it out. So now again, we're in the middle of, we're in the process of drawing out our entire workflow right here. Anybody have any questions so far about how this is working? Does anyone see that this is kind of easy to do when you're just doing it visually and you're dragging and dropping it? Mm-hmm. Yes?
Considering that you put 3 categories in there, so when they fill out the form, does the software here automatically sort it according to those 3, which choice they made out of those 3?
What it does is it applies a tag to that person, and she can later go in and filter and sort people by tags and figure out, I'm getting a bunch of wealth management leads, maybe that's the part of the business I need to focus on a little bit better, or the tax, or the other thing. So yeah, it's tagging that person. And you can put 1 tag, you can put no tags on a person, you can put 1 tag on a person, or you can put 500 tags on a person. If I ever see you with 500 tags on a person, I'm personally going to beat you with a stick. That's just kind of ridiculous. The cool part is that as part of the process, though, is you can also remove tags. You can add tags, you can remove tags. So you can move somebody from being like a low interest client to like a high interest client, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So does that make sense? Any other questions at this point? Okay? So now I've got the contact information. I know what they want from me. Now I have to figure out how to market to each different niche that comes in. Again, this is all drag and drop stuff. In Infusionsoft, the meat of this stuff comes in right here, something called a sequence. And a sequence is the place where you can send emails to people, where you can do some additional tagging, to where you can remind yourself for to-do list items, for phone calls. You can actually do really cool stuff, like Infusionsoft can make phone calls for you, connected to the right service. Infusionsoft can actually send physical letters. So if she wanted to, she could actually design her sales process to gather the person's address, and then after they come in, she goes into Infusionsoft, fills it in. Infusionsoft connects to another service and actually sends the person a physical welcome letter that she's already pre-signed. Anyone here like a send-out card user? Yeah, Infusionsoft can actually has an interface to send out cards also. You can you can push your Infusionsoft information to send out cards and have it dump and have it, send out cards to people.
That's cool.
They have made it so it just talks to so many different things. Anyone here a GoToWebinar user like me? I use GoToWebinar a lot. I make my Infusionsoft form like go over to GoToWebinar and register people for webinars when they sign up for certain things. So this is a very popular tool, and they made it talk to a lot of things out there. The coolest one, though, is whenever I get a phone call from somebody else's Infusionsoft system. They actually have it so this can make phone calls, like make recorded phone calls on your behalf. It's pretty cool stuff.
People don't realize how powerful that cloud connectivity is, but in the old days, when you wanted to talk to something else, you had to hire a programmer and pay him 20 grand to make that connectivity and hope that it would work 5 years from now. Where with the cloud-based stuff today, it's all talking to each other, and it's click.
Yeah. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about that telephone service thing? Like, do they just call people and ask or read a script, or what does it do?
Usually what it does is Infusionsoft will talk to an external system which handles the phone calls, but there's like a pre-recorded phone call. And the pre-recorded phone call will play whatever message you determine, probably based on their tagging. And I think they can also opt out of phone calls. You'll always have to give them that option. But it just connects to a different service and says, oh, Patrick Allman to sign up, send Patrick Allman like a welcome phone call. Or send Patrick Allman a phone call that we have an appointment, tomorrow afternoon. I mean, she could set it up triggered based off of the appointment setting going on the tool to trigger a phone call to me 24 hours before the appointment's set up.
It's her voice.
It's her voice. She would have pre-recorded it. Yeah. Again, this is all because she has a limited amount of time, okay? And she needs to use all this automation to get a lot of stuff done. What I've done really quick while she was asking her questions, I went over here and I dragged 3 different sequences over here because I want to put my business processes in those sequences. And right now they say untitled, but we're going to line those up with my different services. We're going to call this one Wealth Marketing. Actually, no. There's an OCD thing coming later for Ron. I better make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tax Marketing. I did this all earlier, and I thought, I got to do this just right. This is my retirement marketing.
Do it right once.
Optimization. Okay, there we go. Yeah, better stay consistent with my words. By the way, I get a free pass on spelling when I'm doing this in front of you guys, okay? And then we're gonna do, the wealth wasn't wealth consulting, the wealth was like a wealth membership program is what that one was, okay? And again, we've got a cool drag and drop tool right here. So by default, when I fill out that form, I can drag it right to there. And so my sales process now is, I got the lead this way, I fill out the form, they come in here throughout my sales process. And if you have a very straightforward sales process, that's how it'll work. It'll come in, gather information, and go on to market it. Does anybody here market and sell just one thing? Come on, I dare you. What do you sell?
Who's on my Wi-Fi software?
Okay,
Online
and what do you sell?
Garden Anywhere box.
Garden Anywhere box. So, 2 people out of a lot, let's just say. The rest of you probably sell 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 different things, okay? If that's the case, what you end up doing is after you gather their information, you have to do something like this, where you start dragging that to different places. Don't worry, I'll fix all this for you. Okay? Is that just about lined up right?
Might be one for non-selected too.
You could, but on the other one I really do want them to select something. So at this point in time, what you have to do is you have to tell the tool, when am I going to take which path? Okay? And this is called a decision diamond right down here. And in the decision diamond, you set the rules, and I did a pretty simple one here as to when do I take which path. So you double click on your decision diamond, and now you define when do I take the tax marketing route, when do I take the retirement route, and when do I take the wealth membership route. Now if you remember earlier when we designed that form, we put in radio buttons there, and we can now use those radio buttons to decide how we're going to market to this person in the future. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and set a rule for the tax marketing path, and the rule is going to be, on that form, on that radio button option, when someone said desired service, tax advice, I want to take the tax marketing path. For retirement optimization,